All right, so let us get started. Meanwhile, the other people can join. So, yesterday's session we have discussed about the environment preparation. So, basically, what we have done till now, we have seen the differences between PEGA decisioning versus PEGA marketing. We have seen what is the difference between inbound marketing versus outbound marketing. Then we have seen the different channels which are there in the inbound channels, and we have the outbound channels, right? So then we have seen the environment preparation. As part of environment preparation, we have seen how to know the node classification, where we are enabling certain services on certain nodes, right? So we need to go to that path and we need to set the node classification. Then we have seen how to verify whether the node classification is successful or not. Like we can go to the admin studio and we can check the universal or not. Same way, we can go to the dev studio, and in the dev studio also we have to verify whether the nodes are updated or not. So then we have also understood the context dictionary, where we have seen the context is nothing but audience, and then we have seen the primary context, secondary context, and associated data. So that's what we have seen till yesterday. Now let us go ahead with the application creation and understand how the PEGA application for decisioning will be created. Okay, all right. So as part of this course, we will be learning about the banking application. So there is a banking enterprise called XYZ which is interested to promote their products like credit cards, debit cards, personal loans, right? Through PEGA decisioning. Okay. So XYZ Bank wants to promote their products through PEGA decisioning, and we are going to support them by creating a new application. That is what we are going to do now. All right. Let us go ahead and let us see how do we do that. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to the application CDH. So I'm going to the customization hub, and within the customization hub, what I will do, I will go to the intelligence and prediction studio. Okay. So then we will switch to the dev studio. So creating a PEGA decisioning application is same as creating a PEGA BPM application. The procedure to create is same, except that you will get a wizard for creation. So what I will do, I'll just go to the application, and here I will say create new application. So then what we have to do is we have to select the option here that is called build from scratch. Okay, so we need to select the option here called build from scratch. So then I think we just need to go back 1 minute. Okay, just say yeah, build from existing application. Yeah, sorry, we need to select build from existing application. Okay, and we have two options here. One is the PEGA customization hub, second is PEGA operations manager. So then here you need to select the option PEGA customization hub. So by the time you select this option, you should have the framework installed in your system. Okay, so your LSA will install the CDH framework in your environment. After installation, this option will be coming. Okay, after installation, this option will be coming. That's the PEGA CDH and operations manager. If you are not able to see this option, then you can complain to your LSA that the CDH framework is not installed. Okay, so whenever you install the PEGA decisioning framework, then automatically the PEGA customization hub and PEGA operations manager will be coming here. Okay, so we will see this operations manager in the coming sessions. So for now I'm selecting PEGA Customer Decision Hub. Build with PEGA Customer Decision Hub. So I'm selecting the build with Customer Decision Hub. So then what we have to do is we have to select the option launch CDH setup wizard. Okay, select the option launch CDH setup wizard. Okay, so whenever you click on this launch setup wizard, then it is going to take you to this CDH setup wizard. Okay, so right now it is displaying the existing application which is already using financial services. Okay, so now let us go with the next button. Okay, so now let us give our organization name here. So my organization name is XYZ and application name is XYZ XYZ promotion. Sorry, anyone is talking? Yeah, if you're not talking, please go on mute. Okay, all right. So organization name is XYZ and application name is XYZ promotions. That is the name of the application that I am giving here. Okay, so like we discussed, XYZ bank wants to promote their products like credit cards, debit cards, personal loans to their customers. So in order to make sure that XYZ bank is able to promote, we are giving the application name as XYZ promotions and the organization name as XYZ. So next option is we have to select the appropriate industry. Okay, next option is we have to select the appropriate industry. So what is the purpose of this and why it is important? Let us understand that. So we have the concept of car and X car. Okay, so once you're done with the environment setup, we have some concept of called car and X car. Okay, let's just be on mute. Okay, if you are okay, great. So we have this car and X car. What is this car and X car stands for? CAR stands for Customer Analytics Record. Okay, CAR stands for Customer Analytics Record, and XCAR stands for Extended Customer Analytics Record. Okay, so basically, what is the meaning of Customer Analytics Record or CAR? So the CAR is actually nothing but the data model for your decisioning implementation. That means whatever the tables classes whatever the tables classes properties and the columns, the mapping, the data model, right, the data model for your application, the entire data model of your application is called as car, that is customer analytics record, which will contain what all classes to be there in your application, what all tables are there in your application, and what all columns and what all properties are there in your application. Simply saying the data model of your application. So for example, if you take the bank, let us say you have something like customer table, you have a customer table, you have a products table, right? In the customer table you have the customer's age, phone number, income, all these things, right? And in the product table you have the product name, product expiry date, these kind of things, right? So all the tables like the customer table, product table, loan table, the properties in those tables, the columns in those tables, everything included, we call it as customer analytics record. Customer analytics record is nothing but the data model of your application. So when I say data model, it includes the tables and the attributes that are there in those classes and all those things. Now what is xcar? Xcar is extended customer analytics record. So that means, okay, that means Pega will also provide you all the required properties and required tables for a particular industry. Okay, for example, if you are creating your application for a banking, Pega has all the tables and properties which are generally used for banking projects. Something like, for example, credit card name, monthly EMI, annual EMI, credit score, debit score, or CIBIL score. All these are the properties which is which is actually present in your Pega component. Okay, which is actually present in your Pega component. So, for example, if you come to the application, right? Okay, if you come to the application and if you just search for uh, car model for banking Pega. Okay, so if you see this one, car model for banking, so this is the one. Okay, you have to see the component which is one-to-one financial services data model. One-to-one financial services data model. So this is actually the car model for banking projects. So if you see this one, right? If you see this one, um, what does this component contains? This component contains business friendly properties ready for use on next best action designer, designed to work with all financial services retail banking template. Okay, it includes the classes and associations to quickly set up the Pega context dictionary definition. That means, like, whatever is there in banking, right? In banking, generally, what kind of tables you will have, like the account table, customer table, loans table, these kind of tables will be there, right? So it will automatically import the tables, the classes, and also it will have the associations also. Like, for example, customer table is associated with account table. So like that, it includes the classes, the associations, the properties, and the definitions, class definitions, the data tables. Okay, the data tables like customer table, loan table, product table, like that, right? So everything related to your banking application, all the data model is included in this component itself. Okay, it is included in this component itself. So what you can do is you can download this component and you have to install this component when you are doing it manually. For example, below 8.8 versions, you have to download this and you have to install this. So I'll show you how to do it manually also. I'll show you. Okay. But this wizard will automatically do that for our application. Okay. Now, for example, if you are using telecom, I'll say car model for telecom Pega. Just saying this one, okay? I'm just saying this one. And if you see the marketplace link, this is a marketplace link. One-to-one communications data model. So it contains all the properties required for telecom. For example, in telecom, what kind of properties will be there? For example, monthly usage, monthly mobile usage, daily mobile usage. Is 5G enabled or not? Is 4G enabled or not? Okay, monthly mobile payments or whatever the OTT subscription. So like this, all this is nothing but telecom related properties, right? Telecom related properties, and for example, in tables you will have something like customer table and mobile plan table, internet plan table, right? So like this, you will have all these tables and the properties, everything in the telecom car data model. Okay, understood? Did you understood what is car data model or car record? So simply you can say this as a car component. CAR. CAR stands for Customer Analytics Record, which contains the properties, tables, classes, and associations that are specific to this particular industry. Understood or not understood?
It's again,
Next.
yeah, sorry, Ravi. It's again like add-on framework on top of CDH when we
Yeah,
talk about
simply like a add-on component on top of the CDH, which will help you to make your data model setup faster. Okay, so that you don't need to create all these things manually. Okay, because you need to do create the customer table, the loan table, product table, all those things manually you have to create without this. So it is just like an add-on component to you, which will help you to reuse the existing and extend whatever you have, right? So this is actually the car actually. Okay, so this is actually the car, and you are extending on top of this, right? You are extending on top of this, which is called as a X car. That is your own properties, your own customized columns, your own customized properties, which will be there as per your requirement. That will be the X car. Okay, yeah, just like an add-on for your speeding up your implementation. Same way with others also. For example, healthcare will have something like patient name, patient age, or for example, disease present. So these kind of properties will be there in the healthcare car model. Okay, in the healthcare car model, you will have this kind of like patient table will be there, hospital table. Okay, patient table, hospital table, medicines table, like that. Okay, so if you are having a healthcare industry, then you have to select the healthcare. So like that, you will be having the appropriate car model for each and every industry. So now, as of now, let us proceed with the retail banking, and we'll go ahead. So just you can read it, same information what I told. It will be mentioned there also. Okay. Next option is this repository used to locate the export interactions and optionally to export the decisions. So that means whatever the interaction history data is there, right? All those interaction history will be stored into this repository. So what is interaction history? All those things we'll discuss. But it will be present into this repository. That is what is mentioned. So next, it is asking us to review the setup that we are going to do. So the organization name we have given as XYZ, application name we have given as XYZ promotions, retail banking we have selected the industry as retail banking. This is the repository where we are storing. So then this is the data model that we are going to implement. This is a car. Okay, so this is nothing but the car data model, and we have something called NBAD template. So what is NBAD template? So NBAD template, see, what does the car data model will do? The car data model will install the ready to use properties, tables, classes, and everything. Same way, NBAD template, what it will install is, it will install sample offers. Okay, so when I say sample offers, it will install all the sample products which are related to banking. For example, if you see this one, right, you have here sample categories like credit cards, deposit accounts, mortgages, okay, articles, mobile banking. Same way, you also have some sample engagement policy conditions also. Like for example, for credit cards, debit cards, what are the conditions, all those things will be there. So basically, it will install some sample products and sample services for your next best action designer. Okay, So if you see this one, what it will do, uh, okay, so it will just install this template, just you can understand based on this one. Okay, what it will do, you can understand. So for a banking, you will have this kind of categories and this kind of products, right? So it will install some sample credit cards, sample debit cards, some sample loans like that. Okay, so those if you want to use, you can use that, or you can just save as them and you can create your own credit card as per the requirement. But this NBAD template will install some sample categories and sample offers for you, which are related to this specific industry. That is what the NBAD template will do. Okay, so everything is given for you. All you need to do is just customize or extend whatever is given to you already. Okay, so now we just click on the start button. That is it. Now we can leave it to the wizard to do all the magic that you want to do. So it will do the complete installation from its side only. So just you can observe what is being created as part of the application wizard. Okay, any other questions from anyone? Okay, so are you guys able to follow how we are going to create an application wizard? So then we have two options. One is the car model, second is the NPAD template. Okay, car model is nothing but whatever the PEGA will provide. It will include all the tables, attributes, classes, everything will be there in that only. Now on top of that, if you want to create something, you can create. So that's the reason it is called as xcar. Xcar means extended car. Okay, so whatever you want to customize and whatever you want to add in your application, that is called as xcar, because whatever Pega has given, you are extending that. Okay, you are extending that. Okay, that's what you have to understand. All right, you can see now here, right? It is applying the Pega CDH data model, financial services data model. That is what it has. It is doing. Then in the next step, it is defining the context class. Whatever the context class is there, right? It is defining the context class in your context dictionary. Yeah. So this might take some 15 to 20 minutes or generally, but let me know if any other questions from anyone.
Yeah, like
Ravi, are you going to share any document with these steps? I think we're not going to remember all these steps.
So we have it in this right here. I have already mentioned here.
Okay.
Select the application, new application, then select the CDH framework and click on next button. Okay. So the PPTs will be shared to you. You can go through these
Hi
PPTs.
Ravi, good morning.
Yeah, hi.
But we are not getting this document. They
You
were
will get once you enroll to the course. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
And it will share the videos or only document only.
All of them, videos, documents, everything will be shared. And not only this, every week you will have some assignment also, which you can practice. So
Okay.
we will be learning banking application and you will be given a telecom application as an assignment.
Okay.
Okay, so that you have to do it yourself.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I have mentioned all the steps like how to download manually, how to download. Okay, then yeah.
maybe one question, like in which cases we go for car we know, but for in
Hmm.
which cases we go for X car, like any examples?
So that's what XCAR is based on your requirement. XCAR is based on your requirement. See, for example,
Any example?
yeah. See, let us say, mm, let us say in the car model, which is given by PEGA, you have one class that is called, let us say, mm, personal loan class is there, or let us say credit cards class is there. Okay. So in the credit cards class, they have given something like monthly credit card EMI, okay, and credit card issue date. So now your requirement is, we along with monthly credit card EMI, you also have, as part of business requirement, you have monthly credit card interest and annual credit card interest. So this is not there in the car model, right? So car can give just basic attributes and basic tables for you, but it will not have all the properties that are part of your requirement. So as part of requirement, whatever the new attributes or new tables that you have to create, that is nothing but called as xcar. It's not a separate component again. Okay, it's not a separate component. Just you are extending the existing thing. Okay, just you are extending the existing model. That's what you are doing here. That's it. So you might create a separate table also, right? So as per my requirement, I need to create these two. So I will create these two also in the same class only. I'm not creating a separate class. In the same class, I'm extending that. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Same way, let us say PEGA car model has given you credit card table and account table and customer table. But in your requirement, let us say your bank is using some mortgages table also. So then you might need to create the table separately as per the requirement. So that's where you will be calling it as a X car, that is extended car. Okay, X car is nothing but extended car. That means whatever Pega car is there, on top of that you are adding more things. So that's the reason it is called X car. Okay, so now the context dictionary is saved actually. Okay, it is saving the context dictionary. That's what it is doing.
So Ravi, what
Yeah,
happens
Ravi. Suppose
if
so in existing, if we don't want something, can we delete it? If we
Yeah, yeah,
use
we can do.
existing.
Yeah, yeah, we can. So it's our application. We can do whatever you want.
one quick
Ravi?
question,
So
Ravi? Here, like in this case, you selected banking as a domain in the beginning, right? When you started the setup.
right,
What if
right.
that domain, for example, is not mentioned when we are setting up the application structure? In that case, we
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to
So at
manually
that
create
case,
the
we just
car.
need to select the other option is there, right? So other is there.
Mhm.
Just we need to select other. I think nothing will be installed. Mostly, it will give you one or two tables only. Something like it will give you the customer table. That's it. Nothing else
Okay.
apart from that.
So in that case, we need to define. We have to manually create all those classes,
Yes,
tables, and okay.
yes, correct. So Pega right now supports the telecom, banking, and retail. These three things. That's it. So retail is like e-commerce. Okay, so these three things it will support. If your domain is not part of this, then you have to go with other. So if you select other, just basic structure will be given, like the customer table and some other table will be there. That's it. Remaining all the things you have to create manually.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
Ravi, having Xcar would benefit would give an advantage in setting up context dictionary, right? Is my understanding right? Correct.
Right, right, right. Correct. Okay. So while the wizard is implementing the application, let us go with the next understanding what we have. Okay. So Okay, I think this will be better if we can go through the application only, then only we can see this. Okay, so let us wait, and once the application is done, we can understand what the application has created for us. So once the application has been created, then we will go through what all rules this particular application has created, auto generated as part of the application setup. Now the good thing is, whatever the rules that are created as part of the CDH application wizard, it will create a product rule which will include all the things like the context dictionary, the customer table, or the car tables that are there, or let us say that it has created some properties. Everything will be included in that product rule. So you don't need to set up this application in every environment, right? You'll have the dev environment, QA and pre-prod, UAT and all those, right? You don't need to set up everywhere. Just you need to just install that product in that application, in that environment. That's it. So it will automatically create a product rule for you, including all the things that are generated as part of the wizard. Okay. So that is one more good thing, that you don't need to do it every time in every environment, because in other environments you might not have access, right? You might not have access to the dev studio. So all you need to do is you need to give the product rule for the respective people who can install it. So that is also provided by PEGA. Yeah, the latest version is having a lot of advantages and a lot of saving the manual efforts like this. And one more thing is, tomorrow will be the last demo session. So please go ahead and enroll to the course by today or tomorrow. Okay. So we will be completing 4 demo sessions by tomorrow, and tomorrow will be the last demo session. So as part of this demo sessions, we have completed the difference between PEGA decisioning versus PEGA marketing. What are the channels that are there in PEGA inbound marketing and outbound marketing? Then we have seen the how to set up the environment. Okay, basically what we need to do before we actually implement the application, like we need to set up the services like ADM service, DDS, RTDG, all these services we have to set up in our application using node classification. So then we also understood the context dictionary, which contains primary context, secondary context, and associated data. That is main audience, alternate audience, and the data that audience will have. But the good thing is, this wizard will install all those things also, right? It will create the primary context, secondary context, all those things also it will install. Now it's up to you whether you want to use them, whether you want to add new tables or not. It's up to you based on your requirement. Okay, so it is now creating some auto-generated properties and auto-generated strategies, auto-generated adaptive models. So we can reuse the same adaptive models, data sets, all these things we can reuse in your application. You don't need to create a new adaptive model and all those things. You don't need to do that. Simply you can reuse whatever is there in the existing application. That's it. That is the advantage of having this wizard. So now, yeah, it's almost done. Okay, now it's almost done. So you can see that it has created the product rule also. Okay, XYZ promotions underscroll context generated rules. This is the name of the product. Okay, this is the name of the product. So simply you can install this product in all the environments, so that everything that is there in this application will also be installed there. So all right.
Ravi, yesterday there was one some slide with name profile. We didn't speak about that.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, we can go through that. Okay. Yeah, thanks for reminding. So, yeah. So again, we will see that in the interaction history session also. But again, let us give some overview on that. So, what is customer profile viewer? So there is something called customer profile viewer. So basically, what is that means? It is nothing but the where you can see the customer's details and the customer's decisions versus interactions. See, this is how the customer profile viewer looks like. I have gone to this place and I clicked on this. Then I clicked on customer profile viewer. So what does this customer profile viewer will contain is it will contain the customer's next best actions. That means, for example, let us say you are promoting some. Let us say you are promoting some credit card and one debit card. Okay, for a customer ID 123, you have promoted one credit card, one debit card. So whatever you are sending from Pega, that will be present in the decision history. Okay, that will be present under decision history. Decision history means whatever the decisions that are sent to the customer. Okay, whatever the decisions that are sent to the customer. Now let us say out of one credit card and debit card, customer is interested in credit card. So the customer has accepted the credit card. That means he has made an interaction. So when I say interaction, for example, the customer is seeing that credit card offer in the email. Customer is clicking that credit card offer. Customer is accepting that credit card. All those are considered as interactions, right? So interaction means what? General terms, right? In English terms, interaction means what? Interaction means communication and response to that communication is called as interaction. So out of credit card and debit card that you send to the customer has interacted with only credit card, let us say. Customer did not care about debit card. So that information will be there in the interaction history. Okay, that information will be there in the interaction history. For example, I'm selecting customer ID 14, which is already there in this application. So this is the name of the application. This is the name of the person. What is the email address of the person? What is the lifetime value, credit risk, churn risk? All these things we'll understand. But right now, there are no decisions made. There are no interactions made for this customer, and there are no next best actions for this customer. Just we are able to see the customer details. That's it. What is the gender? What is the age? What is the income? This kind of details we are seeing. So basically that is what the customer profile viewer will display. Customer profile viewer will give the basic details of the customer and also what all offers we have sent to the customer, and out of those that we have sent, to which all offers did the customer respond. That is what we'll be seeing here. Okay, in the decision history what all we sent to the customer will be displayed, and out of what we sent customer which one did he respond, that will be there in the interaction history. Okay, so anyways, we will be seeing this again in the interaction history session, but at a high level, that is what the customer profile viewer is. Okay, understood or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
So yeah,
Ravi, I have one question.
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, like as a CDS developer,
Hmm.
in what way we can like to what extent we use this customer profile viewer in terms of development?
So this will be used as part of the interaction history. For example, previously we used to have interaction history for all the customers in the existing application before 8.7. Okay, before 8.7, if you are seeing the interaction history, when you click on this icon, you will see one menu item called interaction history. But now that is removed and that is part of the customer profile viewer. Now how do we use this particular option is, whenever any customer, you send some products to the customer. For example, we are creating a banking application. Now we have sent one credit cards. We, as part of campaign promotion, you have sent some two credit cards to the customer. So what is the response that we got for those two credit cards? If you want to see, you have to see here only. Okay, you have to see here only. Okay, so you will come to the interaction history, then you will see what is the response that we got for that particular customer. Okay, so then based on that we can analyze what needs to be sent for this customer, just to verify. Mainly this is for verification. Whenever you are doing some promotion, you just can't you just need to test it, right? Once it is sent, you need to see whether it is sent or not. So then you can check it in the decision history. Okay, it is sent. If you say, if you are seeing it here means, then okay, this customer is already received the credit cards. Now let us say the customer responded, then you have to check it in the interaction history whether the customer responded or not. Let us say you send some 10 offers. Out of 10 offers, customer responded to 5 offers. So you can see those 5 offers responses here in the interaction history. So this is where you see the interactions of the customer. Just for our verification and testing purpose, we will be using the customer profile viewer. Okay. Yeah, again we will be seeing it live with interaction history topic, but at a high level, this is where we see the whether whatever the offers that we are sending to the customer, whether the customer has actually received it or not, and after receiving, whether the customer has made any responses to that or not. That is what we'll be doing here. Mainly it is used for verification purpose, because you will send some 10,000 or 20,000 or 1 million customers you will be sending, but you will not check each and every customer, right? Out of all the customers, you will select some customer ID and you will select that particular customer's interaction history as a proof, like a unit testing. Okay, like a unit testing or like a verification, you can do it in the customer profile viewer. Okay, still it is taking time, so let that be. All right. So
Yeah, thank
before
you.
we, yeah, okay. So before we go to the wizard auto-generated rules, let us understand the Cassandra database also. So what is a Cassandra database? Basically, what is the purpose of that? So, so please remember that in compared to PEGA BPM, right? In PEGA decisioning, we are directly interacting with the customers, right? In PEGA marketing, right? In PEGA marketing, we are directly communicating to the customers. So we are sending the emails, we are sending the SMS, we are sending the push notifications, and after sending the SMS, customer is responding to us, customer is replying to our email. So all this direct communication happens with the customers, and also you will be using the very important information, that is the associated data. That means the customers products, the customers loans that are there, the customers what you say, the credit cards the customers are having. So all these are the main data which we are going to use, and we are going to do it in our day-to-day basis. So that means we are dealing with very critical information that we are not affording to lose. So that is the reason PEGA has recommended an extra database for security, that is called the Cassandra database. And this is actually recommendation. It is up to you. Without this also you can provide the CDH implementation. Without this also you can do it. But this is a recommendation, not optional. This is a recommendation to use Cassandra database. But without this also you can do the implementation. So the advantage of having Cassandra database is for two purposes. One is for reliability and scalability, and also availability. So Cassandra database has very high availability. That means availability means even during critical crashes also the data will still be persisted. The data will never be erased from Cassandra database. Even during major crash or major exception also, the Cassandra database will store the data and it will not remove the data. Next reason is scalability. So, for example, if you are having the PostgreSQL database or Oracle database, your report definitions are those things, right? When you are retrieving the data, if you are having like very less information, like 5,000 or 10,000 records, it will give you the data fast. But if the same database is having like 5 million, 10 million records, it will take a lot of time to retrieve the data, right? It will keep on loading for some time. It will also hang sometimes because there is 5 million, 10 million records are there. But that is not the case with Cassandra database. The Cassandra database will give the information even with 5 million, 10 million records also, because it is actually going to index and it will do some internal indexing and distribution in the backend. Because of that, it will never slow down your application performance because of huge number of data. So for these two reasons, one is the availability, that means 99.99% availability is there. That means even during major system maintenance time or major disasters also, the data will still be persisted without being removed. Second reason is scalability. That means even with huge number of records, like 10 million, 20 million records also, the database will still give the data faster as usual. Because of these two reasons, PEGA is completely recommending this additional database. So you will continue using your Oracle database as usual, but along with that you will have some extra database. Okay, you will also have some extra database for additional security. That is a Cassandra database, which is used for two reasons, that is a scalability and availability. For these two reasons we are going to use this, and this is a recommendation and this is for our own security and our own additional measures. Because something happens in the production and let us say the customer information is gone, then it will be very dangerous. Again, you might need to take some backup or you need to check with the other systems which is having the data. So meanwhile your implementation will be on hold. Okay, meanwhile your implementation will be on hold. So it is suggested to have the extra database, that is a Cassandra database, as part of your implementation. And this also suggestion you have to give to your business. Okay, to use the Cassandra database also to store the important information like the customer data and the associated data. So that means every time it is importing the customer data to your application, it will also store it into the additional database, that is the Cassandra database. So two databases will be there for your CDH application. Okay. Anyways, so we also have a session for external Cassandra database setup. So PEGA has provided the internal Cassandra database by default for all the CDH implementations. Okay, by default, PEGA has provided the Cassandra database for you for the PEGA decisioning applications. But if you want to use external database, external Cassandra database, that option is also there. Okay, so yeah, it's taking, yeah, it will take up to 30 minutes. So that's the reason it has mentioned the same thing also, right? It will take up to 30 minutes or more also, sometimes more also, depending on your server speed. Okay, so just you can go through like what all rules it is auto generating, right? It is generating the data flows, context dictionary, some strategies, models. Okay, all these things it is auto generating for us, so that we can use those in our requirement. And like I mentioned, please prepare for enrollment tomorrow or before Monday. Okay, because tomorrow will be the last demo session. So please prepare for the enrollment and making the payment to your respective organizations from where you came. Okay.
So
So
Ravi,
if this,
after the
yeah,
demo, again you will create the same portal.
after the demo, no, we'll continue from here. We'll not create anything again. So because anyways you will also get the recordings, so we'll continue from here only.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, so let that take time. So we cannot do anything on that. So we can understand what happens once the application has been created. So let us see what all things are auto generated. So if you go to the application and check the definition, see, because this application is also it's also created with a wizard. So this is also having the auto generated rules. So let us see what all auto generated rules are there. So when you go to the application definition, let us understand the auto generated rules which are available for us. Okay, let us understand the auto generated rule which are available for us. So the application, the CDH application wizard will generate below uh, auto generated rules. The first one is called artifacts rule set. Second one is called NBAD test rule sets. So what is the purpose of artifacts rule set and NBAD test rule set? So artifacts rule set is nothing but like a production rule set, okay, or it is also like a rule set where all auto generated rules will be stored automatically. Okay, at any given time you have to keep the highest version unlocked. Okay, you have to keep the highest version unlocked at any given point of time. That's what you have to do. Okay. Okay. So what is the purpose of this? See, basically in our PEGA CDH marketing, right, in the CDH application, whenever you are creating some feature, okay, for example, let us say I am creating some next best action designer, or I am updating some other thing like the actions and these things like the designer and all those. So for every configuration that you do in these particular features, in the backend some rules will be created. Okay, in the backend some rules will be created. Those rules will be automatically stored into artifacts rule set only. Okay, those rules will be automatically stored into the artifacts rule set only. Also, this is like a production rule set for your CDH implementation. That means in your production environment, if you want to do some changes in the production directly, you can do it in the artifacts rule set. And next thing is, for example, if you want to do any kind of POC, or if you want to do any kind of technical feasibility checks, those things also you can do it in the CDH artifacts. But the main purpose of artifacts rule set is to store the auto generated rules. So whenever you are doing something, for example, right now also, this CDH application wizard is creating all these rules, right? The data flows, the adaptive models, properties, everything it is creating. So where it is creating? It is creating it in this artifacts rule set only. Okay. So every time remember that you should have the latest version unlocked, so that all the rules will be stored into that auto generated rules will be stored into the artifacts rule set. So if you see the artifacts rule set, you can see all the rules that are being auto generated. They will be present in this rule set only. Okay, they will be present in this rule set only. So you see, for example, I'm just selecting last updated. I think it's that whatever last updated, whatever new rules are there, that will be there in the XYZ applications artifacts rule set, not here, okay? But these are also auto-generated, right? You see, all these are auto-generated. Same names are there. If you compare the names which are there here in this wizard, the same names will be there here also. Okay, that's what you can see here. So that is what the artifacts rule set will do, which is mainly for storing the auto-generated rules that are being created as part of the decisioning implementation. Now, what is the purpose of NBAD test rule set? So, this is for storing all the test cases and testing related rules. See, for example, you created a strategy. Now you want to test that particular strategy, whether that strategy is working fine or not. So, as part of that, you will do some testing. So that testing rules you will be keeping it in the NBAD test rule set. Okay, that testing rules you will be keeping it in the NBAD test rule set. So this is only for lower environments. You will not promote this to the higher environment. Okay, so this is only for testing purpose. This entire rule set is only for testing purpose, where you can keep some test cases related to whatever the unit testing that you have done, and also let us say you created some testing for testing the strategies, models, etc. All those testing related rules which are there, you will be keeping it in the NBAD test rule set. So NBAD stands for next best action designer tests. That is the meaning of that. Okay, NBAD stands for next best action designer tests. As part of testing, you will be creating some rules which we'll see it in the coming sessions. So those rules you will be keeping it in the NBAD test rule set. Okay, so that is the purpose of this two rule set. And one more thing, if you see here, right, this is where the component is there. So I told you, right, in the previous versions before 8.7, you need to install the component manually, right? So how do you install? You need to come to the configure, then you'll go to the application, distribution, import. So then we have downloaded this component, right? You have just clicked on download and you can download this, right? You will import that here. Okay, you will import that here. Same like how you import a product. So once you import that, you will be seeing that component in the manage components. Okay, like this you will be seeing it here. Simply you just need to select enable and you just need to click OK. Okay, that's what you have to do. So you see, that is the reason you can see the car model for financial services is present in this application. Okay, so whenever you do the manual import, you need to select the manage components and you need to enable that and you need to click on OK if you do manually. But if you are doing automatically with the wizard, then that will take care of adding it here. Okay, that will take care of adding it here. Okay, so then the next auto generated rule is the operations manager wizard that we have. So for example, if you see the DevOps foundation, right, this is nothing but the operations manager wizard, operations manager application, which is for the deployment. So again, I'll tell you what is operations manager and all that. So these applications are also added. So now in the latest versions, there is one more application that is added that is called as a Gen AI providers. So like we discussed, right, in the latest version, PEGA has provided some AI related features. That means it will give you some suggestions. It will give you some feedback. Okay, all those things are also there. Like the CDH assistant, you see the CDH assistant is there and some feedback related features are there. All those things are there. So that is part of the Gen AI providers application, which is the latest in the PEGA 24 version. Okay, so all these are the auto generated rules that are coming from the CDH wizard. So you see now the setup is completed. So just I will open it and show you what is there. So I'm just saying open CDH. Okay, so now it will go to the App Studio and you can see our application is XYZ promotions. Okay, our application has been created. Welcome to our new application which is called XYZ promotions. So in the XYZ promotions, you will have the same things which I showed you. The auto-generated rule sets, NBAT tests, Gen AI providers, everything will be there in the XYZ promotions also. So for example, I'm just clicking on this and I go to the definition. So you can see here, right? XYZ promotions dot dash artifacts. That is the format. Okay. Our application name dash for artifacts. You see now, I have the NBAD tests, operations manager rule set. This is the operations manager rule set. This is the artifacts rule set, NBAD test rule set. Okay. Then the DevOps foundation. Okay, I think Gen AI providers you need to add manually, but you have to do that manually. Okay, but it will also be there in the built on applications. And you see this component is also added, right? The financial services component, all these things are also added. Now if you see the context dictionary also, for example, I go to the app studio, I go to the settings, and if you go to the context dictionary, so all the auto generated class will also be there here. Okay, you see here, it has created all these classes. You see the customer class is there, right? You see the customer class is there. You see xyz dash xyz promotion dash data dash customer. So it has created the customer class for you, the properties, right? The properties, the email address property, mobile number property, everything it has created. It has also created the association also. Okay, it has created the association also. So all these things are automatically created with the wizard. You don't need to do anything. The wizard has created all the tables, properties, the offers, everything is created. All you need to do is just extend the whatever is created. That's it. That's what we will be doing. Okay. Yeah. So we will go through this application and we'll start with the implementation from next session. That is tomorrow. Okay. But I hope that you understood how to create the CDH application using the CDH wizard. And everything is recorded. We'll share the recordings to you once you have enrolled to the course. So please go ahead and enroll to the course and join to the session so that we'll share the documents, PPTs, the recordings, everything. All right. Any other questions before we close?
Ravi, what is the purpose of the first rule set? OLSTDR.
Yeah. So this is going to store the operations manager related changes. So basically what is this means, whenever business people will request for some changes, they will do a change request from the business environment. They will do a change request, and as a PEGA decisioning consultant, for example, they will say create a new offer or update a new offer. So then we will update that and we will store it into this rule set. Okay, so we'll store it into this rule set. So whatever is there in this rule set, the revision manager will deploy from this rule set to the other environments. So basically what does this mean is this will contain all the changes that are done as part of the operations manager change requests. So if there are two types of requests will be there. That is, one is during direct requirement that will come on Jira, right? The business requirement. Second type of requirement is through change requests. So again, I will tell you in that operations manager session, but for all the changes that are done for the change requests, those kind of changes you will keep it in this rule set. That is operations manager rule set. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is actually the operations manager rule set that is there. So which is OL standard release. Okay, standard request XYZ promotions. Okay, OL standard request XYZ promotion. That is the meaning of that. Okay, yeah. Anyways, we'll see that in the coming sessions. Okay, any other questions from anyone?
Yeah, Ravi. One doubt is like you told Cassandra database, right?
Right.
So is your data will be storing simultaneously in both the Cassandra database and SQL, or like
Yeah,
we need to
both,
segregate it?
both the tables.
So in both the tables, same data will be present.
Right, right. Yes, correct. So that is for our additional security and to maintain during like a backup database. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we'll just continue this session. We will continue reviewing whatever is created today, and we'll start with the implementation from tomorrow. So see you tomorrow. So make sure that you join tomorrow same time.